Hello, my name's Jim Adams. This is my wife, Teresa. We're with Family Matters First. We've been married for the past 26 years, and we've made it our mission to not only strengthen our marriage, that's how we started this journey, but to strengthen the institution of marriage. Does that make sense? So our goal is to strengthen marriages across America, and we do that by counseling services, coaching services, seminars, speaking engagement, any type of workshop or training. You can visit us at FamilyMattersFirst.org, FamilyMattersFirst.org. You can email us at marriageisfun@gmail.com, marriageisfun@gmail.com. Today we're going to spend a few minutes talking about baggage, kind of like the luggage you take when you go on a trip. All of us bring baggage. We bring our own baggage into relationships, and we're all the sum part of our past experiences. But oftentimes in a relationship, that causes a lot of trouble. Do you remember when you said to me once when we were talking about money that, hey, you're doing me just like my daddy did?
Right.
You remember that?
I do.
And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? I'm not your daddy. But it was the thing, we had an issue on how we were handling our budget and our finances. And Teresa said, it feels like I always got to run to you to ask for money. And that's how I did when I was a little girl with my dad. But I had no idea that baggage was there. But as a result of my wife sharing that with me, we changed our whole system of how we handle money. We split it into categories, and we've made a bunch of changes to make it easier for her. We'll cover that later in one of our sessions on finances. But what are some things that you've seen, or some problems you've seen caused by baggage that people bring, whether it's about raising children, about sex, about finances? Just what are some problems that you see in the counseling room that baggage, bad baggage, if you will, has caused?
Several areas. One is in maybe sex. Growing up, mother didn't have the positive part of sex. It was the main thing was don't have sex or this will happen. They didn't say sex is a good thing, but we want to wait until we are married and under the auspices of marriage. So you get all these little myths and stuff in a lot of people's minds, and then they can't perform once they get married.
So, for example, in many parents' mind, in their efforts to talk their children out of having sex,
right,
or keep them from having sex as a child, they vilify it. They say, hey, sex is bad, sex is wrong, sex is evil, which is not true at all. Sex is good, sex is great, sex was created by God. Right. However, there's a proper context for sex. So now think about this baggage. So you're a 12-year-old girl, and you've been growing up with this notion in your mind. Now all of a sudden you're 30 and you're married, but you've been told sex is evil. So how do you flip the switch? Oh, I'm married now, sex is okay. Mm-hmm. Because it's been beating your head by a well-intentioned parent, but with the wrong method to keep you from sex. You see how that baggage could cause problems? Okay, so now you have a husband, or now you have a wife. We usually see this more with women than men.
Yes, money.
You know, so now you have a husband, and sex is okay, sex is good, sex is encouraged. God knows you're having sex. He invented sex. So now you've got to switch from, hey, I'm uncomfortable with that issue, to being very comfortable. That's just an issue of how past baggage can affect you.
I have one more.
Okay.
A lot of the women are well educated now. They make really good money, have great professions, and their mother, maybe a single parent, told them, "You've got to be strong. You've got to be. We can't be dependent on anybody." So she gets married, and she has that same mindset. And so it's like you're butting heads with your husband. He's trying to be your husband, but you are too afraid to let him be your husband. So
I'm not going to have a man telling me what to do.
Right. There's a fear there instead of allowing him to be the husband he should be. So that causes problems.
Okay, this is kind
because I went to school too.
Right,
and I got the money, and I could do this and this and this instead of bringing it together, being a family, being together, having the oneness that God has asked us to have.
Okay, good point. So, while Teresa and I are equal, I'm not better than Teresa because I'm a man and she's a woman. She's not better than me. While we are equal, we are not the same. Okay, so all of you, you go to work every day, right? So you know how your employer, manager, boss is maybe not as smart as you in your mind, maybe they really aren't, how they make crazy decisions that you don't agree with, but there's a hierarchy, okay? So you got to work every day, and you listen to somebody say, this is what we're going to do, and you respect it because of that person's position.
Right.
Even if you don't respect the person, you respect the position. So what you're saying is what you're seeing with ladies a lot, because a lot of women are raised now, a lot of people in general, but are raised with a single parent, usually a mom. And so she has observed her mom, and maybe her mom even taught her, be strong, don't depend on a man, get your own, et cetera, et cetera. Now this same lady gets married, and so how do you reconcile those two? I was taught to be strong and in charge and whatever, but now I've got a husband who's determined to be the leader and is rightfully called to be the leader. Now that doesn't mean your husband runs out making crazy, ridiculous decisions without consulting you.
Right. Right. You sit down and you do it together. A smart man will always want his wife's opinion or her input. He would always want that. That would show.
Because two are better than one.
Right, and that's scripture right there.
That's
but
exactly
anyway, that's definitely one of the issues.
So those are some things, examples we see of baggage, whether it's in the area of sex, whether it's in the area of finances, whether it's in the area of authority or control or leadership. Just think about how your experiences and what you have been taught and told, you bring that into a marriage with your own expectations.
Right.
That's something else we can talk about.
Yes,
expectations. So again, this is Jim.
Teresa.
We're with Family Matters First. You can visit us at familymattersfirst.org. You can email us at marriageisfun@gmail.com. Hope to see you soon.